In today's video, I ditched the old round steering wheel of my Model Y and put in this beautiful Yoke steering wheel. Come on with me as I walk you through how I did it.
It's like housing to the actual steel of the frame. You do want to get these flushed so it doesn't rub on the actual column later on, then snap this little plastic, cosmetic housing back into place. Then really all that was left is to snap these two little plastic covers back on. They do snap into place pretty nice, and they should still toggle back and forth. These seemed a little bit stiffer than before for whatever reason, but I tried them a couple different ways, but this was definitely all you had to do.
All right, now the only thing left to do is to put it back on. Now, if you notice, my wheels turn just so slightly counterclockwise. You're going to put it on at the exact same angle. Now, these two have to fit into the steering wheel, so you can't be way far off. I'll just line this up. Kind of just rotate back and forth. Once it's in the right spot, you just kind of push on until it's back into place. And before you put the airbag in, don't forget to put this screw back down the middle. And it will be important that you get this pretty tight because it's literally the only thing holding your steering wheel onto the column.
I use the same manual socket wrench to put this back on, again getting it really tight, but I could have used an impact wrench, but this worked just the same. And once I got that, plug this last little electronics back in.
Now the very last thing to do is put the airbag back in, making sure you plug it in this cord first, but again, be careful because you do have a little flexible piece of plastic harness. And it clicks. Just gonna set it back into place.
You'll hear two definite clicks once it's back into place where it should be.
And we're in.
All that's left there is to take it back out of service mode. That same little car icon brings it up, and you can just click exit service mode. Then I just played around with the screen a little bit just to make sure everything was still functioning, closed the door, but that little red border is gone, which means we're out of that mode.
Okay, so now that it's on, let's talk about what's it like driving with it. So to be honest with you here, I've been doing it for about an hour now. I don't notice a big difference from the old steering wheel. Now, if you were somebody who liked to drive with their hand on top, obviously you can't do that because there's nothing there. That's the whole point of the Yoke. But as far as just turning, steering, everything else is pretty normal. The comfort of it. So if you'll notice, you do have this little ridge here on both sides, but this kind of gives it that airplane cockpit feel. Most of the time, I feel like I drive just like this, especially when I'm driving maybe a little more aggressive. But also I found myself putting like a single finger, sometimes a double, or even maybe 3 fingers as I'm just kind of relaxing through. But that little ridge makes it way more comfortable than what you're expecting.
And then here I'm going to make a complete circle, an actual 360-degree turn.
Again, just like before, nothing too crazy, nothing out of the ordinary, just hand over hand. That's the same style you've always driven with. Okay, to answer one question for you before you get to it that you might have, a question I hadn't really thought about until now that I've jumped into it, is how do the buttons all work? So most of them work really good. In fact, they all work just fine, but I've noticed I have to press the windshield wiper button just a little bit harder than I normally would. It's not quite as sensitive as, say, the light button. As you can see, like, my light's coming on just fine. The window wiper button does work. I just have to press it a little bit harder. So you notice there, it does work. I just got to push it a little bit harder. I don't quite hear that click like I did before. Whereas on this side, the voice activation works. Turn on defogging. So obviously that still works just fine. But the camera button here, again, works. I just have to press a little bit harder. And again, you notice it will come up and go off. And as well as the round buttons, those still seem to work just fine. So if I want to activate full self-driving here, it clicks on just like normal. And I can still swish back and forth between the hurry and the standard modes.
And visually, I just love the way this wheel looks spinning around during its full self-driving. Pretty cool. And here I'll just show you, I'm just going to back into like this particular spot in my driveway. This little 5-point turn shows you it's actually maybe easier to grab in and out with its little flexibility, and without that top, it doesn't hit you in the full self-driving. Really just works really well.
Now the finish I have on my Yoke is the matte carbon fiber. They also make it in like a gloss carbon fiber, but in addition, they make it in 2 different shades of black and a white. So no matter what interior you're going after, they have something that'll probably fit your style. I got the carbon fiber because it matches my little curtain shield in the back, which I also got from Test Studio, and I plan on putting a ton of other carbon fiber here on the Juniper, so make sure you subscribe, see what else I can do with just the carbon fiber alone. Thanks for watching as always. See you on the next one.